Weather once again on this impact day.
Yeah, an impact day because of the chance of some rain and storms. Some of them could be a bit on the gusty side, a bit on the loud side. This is what radar is looking like right now. So you can see we are quiet across greater Cincinnati. All of these storms that are off towards our northwest, this is what I'm going to be watching. That's going to be headed our way. Where you see that yellow, that is a severe thunderstorm watch, and it does not include any of our Indiana counties. But it gives us an idea that these storms are at least getting a bit closer towards us. This is going to be the front edge of this storm complex that's going to be moving in, and this potentially could bring us round number 1 of storms for us, especially if you are going to be west of I-75. But I will say these storms that are approaching Kokomo right now, they're still about 2 hours out from even reaching I-70. So we have some hours and some time this evening to enjoy some weather before some of the heavy rain and storms that do roll in. And none of these are severe right now. And I'm going to be watching to see the trajectory where these storms are headed. Are they going to head a bit more south? Are they going to turn a bit more southeasterly? Where they could be impacting some of us that are closer towards I-70 and even north of the river. So that's going to be an area I'm watching that could also impact that second round of storms, because there's even more that are over Lake Michigan right now, even up towards Milwaukee, Chicago. And this is going to be that last bit of storms with that cold front that eventually is going to push its way through. But that's even farther away. So we have a few hours this evening where we could be watching for that potential of seeing some of those storms that'll be continuing to roll in. You could see that we'll be watching for any of these that can move closer towards us. We do have that enhanced risk, though, latest update this afternoon that does now include Cincinnati. So I would say with any of these storms, the chance for any storms that could be stronger would be the farther west that you are, even closer towards I-65 in Indiana. And then if you are west of 75, that's also where you're going to have a better chance of at least hearing a few more rumbles of thunder and getting some gustier winds. So the 2 rounds possible that we're talking about, one is going to be that front edge of those storms I was mentioning. Those are going to be as those storms continue to drop from northern Indiana, could bring us winds 30-40 miles an hour, some heavy rain and a lot of lightning. What those storms do will really depend on what could happen with that strength for the storms overnight. That'll be that last bit of those storms way up towards the north, and that's going to be with a cold front that'll really be pushing any of those rain and storms out of here. You'll see here on Futurecast, we get to about, I'd say 7-8 o'clock, and those storms that are closer towards Kokomo and north of Indy, those will be approaching I-70, and we could see them moving down closer towards us, bringing us some heavy rain and some lightning and some gusty winds. I do think this Futurecast model is being a little aggressive with how robust it's showing some of these storms. I think the farther west that you are, the better chance of getting some of that heavier rain. But we'll watch that first potential through the next few hours this evening from about 7 to maybe 10 o'clock tonight, and then we'll get that last pushing with that cold front that'll move through, and that'll be after midnight into the very early morning hours on Tuesday, and then the rest of Tuesday tomorrow that is going to be quiet as this cold front pushes all of the rain and storms out of here. So again, right now I'm watching the storms over the Great Lakes region. That could bring some storms this evening, but it also could bring us some storm chances as we go overnight tonight as that cold front officially pushes all the storms through the area. Outside right now, it is definitely warm, humid outside at 85. You're looking at those winds light for right now, feels like 92. You could also, if you look towards the north, see some of those darker skies with really the tops of those clouds that are even pushing down over Cincinnati right now, even though those storms are still so far away. We have those storm chances as we go overnight tonight with that low temperature falling into the low 70s. And tomorrow we have some of those rain chances earlier on, and then we're dry for the rest of the day. You'll see highs tomorrow actually only make it into the mid 80s. Very typical summer weather for tomorrow, and then we'll dry out and turn a bit more quiet and comfortable for the rest of the week. Ashley, Cherie.
Sabrina.